Welcome to Yahoo Finance Sports Report, a unique look at the business of sports, brought to you by Yahoo Finance and Yahoo Sports. I'm your host, Joe Pompliano, and I'm here to coach you through the financial game. Today, we've got Fanatics CEO Michael Rubin joining the show to discuss Fanatics Fest, and also F1 Arcade Global President of Development John Gardner to discuss all things F1 Arcade, the world's first Formula One entertainment venue. Let's huddle up and get right into it. We are kicking off this week with Pomp's Playbook, where I take a look at some of the biggest headlines in sports that you and your portfolio need to know. First, in a shocking move earlier this week, the Boston Red Sox traded star DH Rafael Devers to the San Francisco Giants in exchange for pitchers Jordan Hicks and Kyle Harrison and two prospects. The Giants will also pay the remaining $250 million on Devers' contract that runs through 2033. Now, there have been some tensions between Devers and the Red Sox after he was moved from third base to DH to accommodate free agent signing Alex Bregman earlier this season. But Devers' trade to the Giants was still a surprise, considering how valuable he has been to Boston's lineup this season, and the fact that the Red Sox signed him to a 10-year, $313.5 million contract in 2023. However, whether Boston fans and baseball pundits think trading Devers was a bad idea or not, it's now on Red Sox chief baseball officer Craig Breslow to put the $250 million that the team is saving from his contract to good use. Next up, Netflix struck a deal last week to stream the upcoming Canelo Alvarez vs. Terence Crawford boxing superfight. The match, which will take place on September 13th in Las Vegas, will be available to over 300 million Netflix subscribers at no extra cost, a massive bargain for boxing fans used to spending $80 or more for a fight of this caliber. It was also confirmed that the fight will be promoted by UFC President Dana White, Turki Al-Shah of Saudi Arabian General Entertainment Authority, and the Saudi Arabian events company Cello, as part of TKO Group Holdings' new boxing promotion. Now, while this is a huge fight for TKO's new boxing promotion, it's an even bigger get for Netflix, as it brings more premium live sporting events onto its platform, like the Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson fight and Christmas Day NFL games. But Canelo vs. Crawford will easily be the biggest sporting event to stream on Netflix, and will likely surpass the 108 million viewers that the Paul vs. Tyson fight drew last November. Last up, the WNBA extended its broadcast deal with Scripps' Ion Network earlier this week. The W and Ion Network have entered into a new multi-year agreement that will start with the 2026 season. Ion will continue airing regular season WNBA games on Friday nights in the new deal. And while contract terms weren't made public, the WNBA's previous deal with Ion was worth $13 million per year. Now, the WNBA has done well for Ion. The network's WNBA games averaged 670,000 viewers in 2024. That's a 133% increase from the 2023 season. And Ion's opening Friday night doubleheader in May saw a 121% increase from the 2024 season, with 612 average viewers. The extension with Ion also continues great momentum for the WNBA's future broadcast revenue. The WNBA signed an 11-year broadcast deal with ESPN, NBC, and Amazon Prime Video last year, worth $200 million annually, and they could sign more broadcast deals to bring its total media package to nearly $3 billion through the year 2036. This weekend, we're recording Yahoo Finance Sports Report live from Fanatics Fest at the Javits Center in New York City. To preview what that event will look like, I was able to sit down with Fanatics founder and CEO Michael Rubin last week. Here's what he had to say. You guys started this last year, 70,000 people over 3 days. You're doing it again this year. Seems like it's going to be bigger and better based on everything that I've seen. But let's start with, why did you even decide to do this? I mean, there was nothing else like this in sports. It feels connected to your main business, but also a little bit different given its events. Just tell me through the idea and why you decided to do it.
You know, I've been to so many music festivals. I've been to Coachella a bunch of times and always had an amazing time. And I've been to South by Southwest. I've been to Comic-Con. And when we got in the trading card business, I went to something called the National. And I had two feelings when I went there. The first was this is pretty incredible. There's 150,000 trading card collectors, and they're also passionate. They're the most incredible sports fans in the world. The second feeling I had was it kind of felt like it wasn't so different than 30 or 40 years ago when I went to high school. It's a lot of people set up almost you in a flea market. Just, it just felt like sports fans deserve better. And so I went back to Comic-Con. I'm like, this is pretty incredible. Why don't we have this for sports? And I kind of said to my team, where are these in the world? They said, there aren't. It's just the trading card shows. There's no sports festivals. I'm like, what do you mean? And so I then realized that we were the only company that had, look, we pay next year, I think we're going to pay close to $2 billion out to sports properties, athletes, players associations. And so that really gave us the ability to bring people together in a way like no other company could. So for us, this is really about a give back to sports fans. I think this year we'll probably have 150,000 people come if I had to guess. We take the entire Javits, the biggest convention center in New York City. We do it over 3 days, and it's pretty surreal. So there's going to be 300 athletes, celebrities, artists. I don't think there's another place that brings people together like this. And it's really just to give back to sports fans.
If you go through the guest list, like you just can't even start naming people because you'll leave out people that you should have included.
The guest list is so incredible. I mean, when you think about Jay-Z, Travis Scott, Tom Brady, Victor Wembanyama, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kevin Hart, Derek Jeter, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning. I'm just rambling off the top of my head. There's so many incredible people. So I think that the amount of athletes, celebrities, artists coming this year, there's like 3 times the amount from last year. That's pretty insane. The Fanatics games is, I think, what's going to be the most interesting. So I want to figure a way to make it super exciting for each athlete, artist, celebrity, and fan to go through each league activation. So we came up with a little game and sort of see how competitive my friends are. So we basically said we're going to have 8 games. One is a throwing accuracy competition in football. The second is throwing accuracy in baseball. Third is how many pucks can you hit into a washer and dryer in hockey. Fourth is NBA shooting competition. Then you've got a WWE walkout judged by WWE judges. UFC how hard can you punch. Golf closest to the tee, take sporting goods. And FIFA accuracy competition in kicking the soccer ball. And the way it works is you take your 6 best scores, you drop your worst 2. And then we're going to have 50 athletes, celebrities, artists, biggest people in the world. Travis Scott, Kevin Hart, Tom Brady, Michael Parsons, Kevin Durant, James Harden, biggest athletes, celebrities, artists in the world, 50 sports fans. Top prize, $1 million in cash. Cash from Fanatics Fest. Second prize is a $500,000 Ferrari. Third prize is a $250,000 rookie LeBron James Topps 2003 rookie card. All the athletes, celebrities, artists, fans are going to do it in front of everybody. And so they rotate through. It takes like less than an hour to do it. It's like a Olympic style competition. I can't wait to see who wins that. My goal is that we own the internet and social media for like 5 days straight, the 3 days that this goes off and the 2 days after. And anything less than that, then I've been a complete failure.
I love it. That's worth every penny. Michael, thank you so much for doing this. I can't wait to come experience it for myself. I hope everyone else has a chance to do it too. We've made it to the one-on-one, a conversation where I get to break down news and sports with a key player in the industry. This week, we're talking to F1 Arcade Global President of Development, John Gardner. John, thank you so much for joining the show. And I'd love to start with just an overview of what F1 Arcade actually is. I mean, I know you guys have been building out new locations in the UK and certainly across the US, but for people that are listening that haven't been to one of these venues yet, what can they expect?
Joe, thanks for having me on. Absolutely. F1 Arcade is a completely new experience that people haven't had before. So it's bringing the glitz and glamour of Formula One, paired with exceptional food and beverage, with that all pairs together to come to create an experience, as I said, that you've not had before. So it's taking the thrill and adrenaline of simulator racing that's meant for 7 years old all the way up to expert sim racers, and then pairing that with beautiful design, music, DJs on Friday nights, with amazing champagne cocktail bar, and again, some exceptional food paired with that. So all those things come together to create an experience you've not had before.
How do you think about how F1 Arcade fits into the sport more broadly, right? If you think about Formula One, obviously you have the races. Those are the premium events. They're broadcast on TV. Tons of people attend. You have merchandise businesses, licensing, all of that kind of stuff. But like, what experience does F1 Arcade add to the overall sport?
Yeah, I think, again, F1 in terms of sport, there's only 20 drivers a year that get to experience what it's like to get behind one of those cars, of those machines. And I think what's adding to the sport itself is allowing everyone to get a sense and appreciation to feel what it's like behind that wheel. And again, with the adrenaline, with being able to understand and be fully in control of that machine and driving into it, it just brings a whole new context to life of exactly all the different feelings and emotions and things that brings to get to experience that most people don't get to.
All right, we've got to take a quick break, but we'll be back with more of my conversation with John Gardner from F1 Arcade right after this. Welcome back to Yahoo Finance Sports Report. I'm your host, Joe Pompliano. I'm here with F1 Arcade Global President of Development, John Gardner. One of the things I'm always fascinated about is sort of the real estate aspect of these businesses, right? And you guys, like I said, have open locations in the UK, but are certainly expanding here in the US as well. I'd love if you could just talk to us a little bit about how that's gone so far, just how many locations you already have, where you expect that to go, and then a little bit of insight into how you pick some of these locations and what boxes need to be checked for you guys to go all in on one.
We've got 5 locations globally right now, 2 in the UK, and then we got 3 just opened Philadelphia this year in the US. So we definitely have expansive growth plans. Really focused on the US, I would say. F1 as a brand and a concept as well is really focused on the US in terms of how they see their sport growing popularity, in terms of also their core demographics and things and how that comes together. So we've got many more sites, 3 more actually this year are planned to open, which is exciting, with Vegas opening, Denver, and then Atlanta. And then we've got a whole pipeline for next year. We definitely go through a process, Joe, in terms of how we choose the locations. I think this is also an important part. This is not just for F1 fans. Yes, we want F1 fans to come here, but this is for people that want a new experience and to try something not had before. You might not be interested in simulator racing at all, but again, the beautifully crafted cocktail menu that we've done, or NA cocktail menu that we've got, that might be something that's for you. Or you just want to buy the food paired with that cocktail, or date night, group events, social events. All those things come together. So I think that's where we're looking at locations. We're not just looking at core F1 locations. We're looking at where we think we can get involved in the cities as well, or the territories, as again, we're a very long-term lease in those areas, so that our brand connects to what we look after in terms of the quality and experience that we bring. All those different factors, which we could spend all day talking about all the different things we look at from a data perspective, but also from site visits and how we delve into all that data.
Yeah, so there's obviously a financial benefit to this business and these locations, right? If you're able to open them, they're busy, they make money, that's great for everyone involved. But there's also these tangential benefits, which you alluded to there, which is getting people to become interested in the sport overall, right? Maybe someone visits F1 Arcade for the first time. They're not a racing fan, but they enjoy a cocktail, they're with friends, they try a simulator. Next thing you know, they're checking out the Netflix series or going to a race or something like that. Are there any metrics or data that you guys are tracking on that side of things to be able to tell you if it's successful or not?
Yeah, I mean, there's many metrics that we do track. What I would say is, one of the things that we're, again, part of the F1 concept as part of that, and they've been exceptional partners, but again, creating in the F1 paired with the exceptional hospitality is how we really found our niche within that. So yes, financially, in terms of revenue and things that we're driving, is definitely a key factor of how we're successful, but also the NPS scores, how people are enjoying the experience. We focus a lot of our attention detail on the guest experience, and how do we make somebody not only want to come back, but give them something they not had before. So I think all those metrics, how that comes together, how we expand the brand and continue to work through what success looks like, that's evolving. But again, I think people really remember how you feel when you leave and when you experience things like this. And I think that's what we continue to work on and constantly tweak how people are interacting with the brand.
Very interesting. I would love to hear more about the simulators themselves that are at these venues, right? Like, how accurate are they? How real are they? And what are you actually able to do on them?
We just launched a new simulator, which is exciting. So we've rehauled the in terms of the actual sim itself. So there's a lot of updated features, I would say, as part of it, a few tweaks and a few things to make it even better and more immersive, I would say, as you do it. So when you're getting in the simulator and you're adjusting your seat, the pedals, and all the things that's there, it's supposed to feel like you're in an actual F1 car. So you're sat back into the seat, almost molded to your body. You've got the steering wheel. It's actually crafted for an F1 steering wheel. The pedals, you're using both feet actually to drive within that. And then you've got two screens. One's for you, and one's a spectator screen above. So the whole element with speakers actually in the seats themselves. So you're hearing the music, you're feeling the vibrations of the cars. You're taking that first turn, you're revving the engine. You feel all those tweaks. If you take a wrong turn, you're going over a few bumps, you're feeling that as it goes. You bump Lewis Hamilton around that first corner, you're going to feel and interact with all of that. I think so. That's the physical experience you're seeing with that. The beauty of the game is actually done in-house with our internal team. So it's actually AI enhanced as well. So if I do bump Lewis Hamilton that first turn, he may come bump me back to show some aggression. So there really are no two races that are the same when you do it.
And how do you think about Formula One's role? Like, even if Liberty Media is obviously attached to this too, but if we leave them out of it for a second, we just think about Formula One as a sport. How do you think about their role in promotion and marketing of F1 Arcade and vice versa, right? Like, obviously, you guys are doing a lot to be able to help and market the sport. What are they doing in return to make sure people are coming through your doors?
As you said, they've been exceptional partners, but I think the U.S. is the biggest untapped market. I think Formula One is working to unlock right now. I mean, it's definitely ingrained a little bit more in Europe and Asia and those places. People are aware of F1 a lot more and follow that. To where I think this new era with Drive to Survive, as you mentioned, the F1 movie with Brad Pitt coming out at the end of the month. I think all those things are in the headwinds, I should say tailwinds, to really focus on the U.S. market. I think people are really getting involved with the brand. I think there's other ways to get involved with the brand as well. That's part of this. Whereas Lewis Hamilton, as an example, he's definitely into fashion, right? And, in terms of how he does that, I think that unlocks a whole other world in terms of you can interact with F1 and you might connect through the fashion of that. He's also got a charity that he goes with that. He's also got a non-alcoholic tequila. That's actually very good. So again, I think the drivers are personalities in of themselves, to where you might not be interested in Formula One, but you might be interested in the driver or what they're interested in. And then that's your gateway into this. So I think that helps in general, but I think how the experience that we bring, with F1 betting big on the US, with the Miami Grand Prix being fairly new. Vegas only been open 2 years. They own and operate the Vegas Grand Prix. They're putting a lot of resource and capital behind the US. I think they see us as another funnel for them, attracting the F1 fans with the non-F1 fans who, again, might want a night out, might want to do something fun and they're not done before, and then that creates, again, more interest in the overall sport. So I think F1's been extremely impressive on how they've looked at other avenues to build the core audience for that.
Is part of the strategy trying to put these facilities in areas where people may have a more difficult time reaching Formula One races? Like, obviously, you said the U.S. is the main focus. I agree with that. It's been tremendous what Formula One has done. But if you look at Philadelphia, which you guys just opened, Philadelphia is pretty far from Miami, Austin, and Las Vegas. But there's probably a coalition of people there that watch Formula One and would like to go to an arcade and experience some of that, but will never make it to a race. Is that part of the process when you think about the locations for these venues?
I think it's in the back of our mind always, Joe, as we think about it. But I wouldn't say that's a key determining factor for us in terms of how we choose our locations. Again, because the experience is so unique that you've had, and again, there's so many reasons of why you come to arcade, with families, date night, guys' night out, girls' night out, corporate events, social events, celebration moments in life, work anniversaries, and things like that. I think that's where we've really focused a lot of our attention, is to understand how we create that memorable experience for you. And I think F1 is an amazing piece of that. Torgan, that's a nuance that you can't do that anywhere else within any actually room in the world. So all those elements coming together to create that is how we focus more on bringing that to the markets that we're in, and also many more. Miami, New York, Vegas. We're opening Vegas, but again, we don't in Austin. We don't shy away from markets where F1 is by any means, but it's also looking where the right location is and the right time is. We have big sites and they're not the easiest to find as it goes through it. So finding the right partners from a landlord, finding the right deal structure, and then finding the right area that we feel like we can get involved in a deep way. All those things come together to create where we end up.
Yeah, and the other thing I'm curious about too, just from an opinion perspective, is like F1 Arcade is obviously in this entertainment space adjacent to sports and luxury and hospitality and food and beverage and things like that. But we've seen a number of these different venues and projects pop up over the years, whether it's F1 Arcade, you obviously have Topgolf, which was several years ago at this point, but even Roy McIlroy's Puttery, you have a bunch of different businesses that are sort of emulating that model. Outside of F1 Arcade, like, where do you think this industry goes? Is there enough support to be able to have, 5 or 10 of these concepts in every major city?
No question. I think this industry is just getting started. That's the really exciting point about this, to where you mentioned Topgolf and Puttery and Putt Shack and Flight Club, all those other concepts. I think we can co-locate, and we've done that very successfully in the past. But I also think people want new experiences. I think attention spans are getting shorter. People want to be able to interact, and they're not going to the office as much as they used to. So people are finding ways to connect with colleagues and their partners and find something to do while they're having a drink or having food. So I think this really fills a gap that's only going to continue to widen for people that, again, with wanting something to experience and do and have a meal or have a drink. So what I'd say to wrap that up is I think we're just getting started. And I think, again, people come back, and that's repeat is very important to us, but ultimately they're not coming back to us 30 times a year, right? So they come back to us, 3-4 times a year. That's amazing, but they're going to fill their other weekends and other date nights out, going other places. So I do think creating destinations and hubs of these types of things together, we've seen a lot of success within that, and I'm very excited to see in the future where this space goes.
Very cool. That makes a lot of sense. And I'm excited to go check out the one in Vegas because I know I've heard really good things about most of the venues at this point, but I know that one's going to be about 2 times bigger than your previous one. So congrats on all the success you guys have had so far. And thanks for joining us today, John.
We appreciate it, Jim. Thanks for the time.
The clock is winding down here, but we have just enough time for some final buzz. So let's talk about Saquon Barkley's popularity with NFL fans. Philadelphia Eagles superstar running back Saquon Barkley has taken over Patrick Mahomes as the NFL's most popular player, at least when it comes to player apparel sales. According to the NFL Players Association's year-end top 50 player sales list, Barkley was the top-selling player in the NFL for online and in-store retail sales last season, which includes sales for jerseys, apparel, bobbleheads, accessories, figurines, backpacks, drinkware, and other items. Barkley was the first running back to top the NFLPA's list since Ezekiel Elliott in 2017 had the most popular jersey based on cumulative sales of all NFL players, and dethroned Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes from the top spot in the rankings. Barkley was also joined by Mahomes, fellow Eagles teammate Jalen Hurts, Rookie of the Year Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels, and Texans quarterback CJ Stroud to round out the top 5 of officially licensed player products sold last season. Now, Barkley is truly having a banner year since signing with the Eagles in the 2024 offseason. The running back ran for over 2,000 yards last season, was named NFL First Team All-Pro, won a Super Bowl in his first season with the Eagles, and signed a 2-year, $41.2 million contract extension with $36 million guaranteed this past offseason with Philadelphia that made him the highest paid running back in NFL history. Barkley also recently had more commercial success off the field when he was named the cover athlete of EA Sports' Madden NFL 26 and became a member of the game's 99 Club for player ratings. Not too bad for your first year on the job with a new team. And I wonder if New York Giants owner John Mara is still losing sleep over letting Barkley go to his NFC East rival. We're all out of time, so it's officially game over for this week. Thank you so much to Michael, John, and for all of you for joining us. Please make sure to scan the QR code below to follow Yahoo Finance Podcast for more videos and expert insights. And catch us every Thursday wherever you get your podcasts. Plus, check us out this weekend at Fanatics Fest, located at the Javits Center in New York City. I'm your host, Joe Pompliano. See you next time.
This content was not intended to be financial advice and should not be used as a substitute for professional financial services.